Yes, people, welcome back, man. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning back again. Thanks for tuning back again to the channel, man. Really appreciate you guys coming back here again. And you don't know people with the new ones coming here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, especially if you really like the channel. But my people, good day to each and everyone. Happy Monday. Thanks for being here again. A wonderful, successful day. Doing the Nick and Nat podcast last night, but I'm here to give a little bit of more uprising news around a sad moment around Jamaican football. You would say the senior men's team is not performing well. The Reggae girls team is not performing well. You understand? But guess what? I'm going to jump into it and talk about some transfer news. The likes of Warner Brown is on his way to Europe. The likes of Kahim Paris, moving to a different European country. Is it on? Is it complete? And also Jon Russell. There's number of clubs in the EFL Championship wanted his signature as well. And watching the Reggae girls game, was that Steve McCLAREN future assistant coach in the making? What does that say for Steve McCLAREN job at the helm for the reggaeboyz? But I will get into it right after this break. Yes, so talking about the player, the two players that expecting to go both ways, Kahim Paris, Kahim Paris and also Warner Brown are edge. Seems like they're not saying they are edging closer, but one of them, the deal seems like it's more concrete, which is Kahim Paris. Seems like it's more concrete, more evident that the deal is on, while Warner Brown, it's just a heavy interest, nothing more than that, coming from a credible journalist, someone that will cover Serbian Super League, but not just Serbian Super League, but someone that will cover the Partizan team as well. But I want to say this deal, for Kahim Paris, it will be such a fantastic deal. This is a player that been in Europe for almost like between 5 to 7 years now, playing 3-4 seasons in Slovenia, playing 1 season in Ukraine for Dynamo Kiev, where he signed a 4-year deal. Didn't work out. The club went in financial crisis. You know what happened, the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. They have to loan off, sold a lot of their big name players, especially the overseas one, and he find him way on a loan to Azerbaijan for Sabah Baku. They make the deal permanent in his second stint, and you have to say that, look, he played 50 plus games in Azerbaijan over there in that league as well. In our competition, he played over 50 games. But let me just say this: Kahim Paris is such a fantastic player. He's a talented player. Been around, around like 2-3 different clubs already. 3 different countries already, looking to go in Serbian Super League. This will give him another lifeline, because look, he's 25. He signed a 4-year deal at Dynamo Kiev. It didn't work out because of financial issues with the club. And, he signed another, I think, a 4-year deal, which his contract will up in 2028 for Sabah Baku in Azerbaijan. Now, we see this seems like it's edging closer, but we know transfer windows go. We know how transfer work. Anything can happen. Your deal can, with a signature, a way to complete, and everything can just break down right in the middle of a midst of everything between two parties. But let's see if Kahim Paris can actually, and his parties can actually get this deal done. And you have to understand, both players, Warner Brown and Kahim Paris, share the same agent, just as the other players that usually play in the Serbian Super League, player like Trivante, a player like Norman Campbell. You understand? I don't know about Junior Flemings, but we have couple strikers in the past, in previous years, back-to-back score, double-digit score in Serbian top flight league as well. Trivante and Junior Flemings. Norman Campbell scored a few goals in the league as well. So you will say, look, it seems like these clubs in Serbian Super League have a high for Jamaican talent. But look, for Kahim Paris, it will be such a fantastic deal. This is a deal that can hit his career back on the map, where people actually be talking about Kahim Paris, talking about Evo, a recall up for the national team if he can get his hack right, because he's 25. He needs to start to get his career back where he's scoring goals left, right, and center, because you played a plethora of games in the Azerbaijan, where you played 50 plus games in our competition, just 5 goals for the football club. That's nowhere good enough for any attacking player playing anywhere in Europe. as well. But for Warner Brown, this will be a big step up for him, leaving from the big marksman in the Jamaican Premier League, signing for one of the powerhouse team in Serbian football, Partizan. This is a club that consistently over the years been playing in European football as well. So that will be such a fantastic experience. But the likes of Warner Brown, he's no new. Yeah, he's not a new boy to European football. He have done his little few years where he came in the last couple of years, in his previous time, playing in Slovenia as well. Did it work out? Deal cut short, sent him home. But what it is now to be at the top in Europe, and if this deal can actually go through, this will be a massive deal for Warner Brown. This will be a big turning point in his career. But I've been told a month ago, from a respectful teammate of Warner Brown inside of Arne Kanda, the player have already played his last game for the Junglers. It's all about which club this player will sign for in the future. And as I said, we have two strikers in the past. 2023-2024 season, Flemo scored like 14-15 goals in Serbian Super League. Trivante Stewart done it last season where he scored 13 league goals for Radniki Nis already. So can Warner Brown do that? But he will be under immense pressure, because even in that comment section, the fans were questioning like, what is the level of the Jamaican Premier League? How good is this league? The journal replied and said the Jamaican Premier League is just as good as our second tier and third tier football in Serbia. So he will be up against it, but he will be settled. Hopefully this club will have a top striker to help him get his feet wet. You understand? Help him in around the club. But again, hopefully both Kahim Paris and Warner Brown which would be delightful to see both players sign for the same football club in Serbia. But again, it's something that keep an eye up for, because look, Warner Brown have the same agent as Norman Campbell and Trivante Stewart and also Kahim Paris. So let's see, that agent seems like he have some connection in Serbian football. So let's see if anything can happen in the upcoming weeks about Warner Brown. But for now, Kahim Parris seems like his deal seems like it's much closer, and how the journalists describe what is happening with Kahim Paris and Warner Brown. So, but for now, Warner Brown is heavily linked with the Serbian club Partizan. This will be a very, very good move for this player, and he will bring all that experience back to the Reggae Boy team. But talking about another player as well, Jon Russell is on the eye for a lot of EFL Championship club. Actually, the clubs are interested in Jonathan Russell. We saw what he did in League One last season, and I said that if this player go through the summer and not one championship interested in this player, especially with 12 months left back on his contract, that will be such ironical that nobody will interested in such a fantastic player, especially what he have done for the Reggae Boys in the last month. He have scored goals, he played well in games, he have the moments, but what he did in that League One season, Championship club will be circular. And now we saw a plethora of Championship clubs, the likes of Oxford, Blackburn, the likes of Derby County, you understand, in for the Reggae Boy players, and also Stoke City as well. But let me just say this, there's two clubs in that mix where I would say I would really fancy him to go to one of those clubs. When you talk about a Stoke City, very, very stable Championship club, once was a Premier League club, be looking to get back up in the top flight, but they have a very interested manager. That this manager is one of the most experienced manager in the Championship, Mark Robin, someone that who know Casey, someone that who know Joe Latibody as well, coach them at Coventry, but this midfielder, I know he can get the best out of Jonathan Russell. Just look at how I see he coached that Coventry team and how this team played similar as how Barnsley played as well. But for Jon Russell, 12 months left back on his contract, and also there's no new deal on the table as a player, no interest to sign a new deal. So Barnsley will hopefully they can offload the player in this transfer window rather than walk free next summer. But I remember Conor Horan said this player is a key player moving forward for their football club. But look, as again, anything can change in the likes of a second in football as well. But the other team that I say, yeah, Jon Russell would be a very good fit, and that is Blackburn Rovers. A coach is Ishmael Valery, the Frenchman. Well, Watford a thing in the past. Yeah, I know what it is to get promoted from the Championship to the Premier League. And look at it, yeah, Blackburn is a club in for Jonathan Russell. I would say that club have the highest finish closer to the Championship playoff rather than any other club. Look, Derby County is in for him, but the likes of Carlton, Wiseman signed for Derby County will be giving that booster to challenge for a playoff position. But for the age of Jonathan Russell, 24, yeah, he needs to make sure that this move will be the right move for him. Go to a Championship club, a club that is one, stable club in the Championship, two, a club that will always mount a playoff push in any Championship season, so he can have a better chance of trying to get a team promoted to the Premier League. And just play at the highest level in the Championship, play at a higher club, a club that will dominate the Championship, a club that will give him the best platform to achieve what he needs to achieve and get minutes on the grass as well. That's one of the most important things. But for me, Derby County not so very impressed as well of the interest of him go there, and as well Oxford, the team that Greg Lay play for, two teams that actually fight to stay away from the relegation zone. But again, you don't want to go to a Championship club where you're going to fight for relegation scrap, because Barnsley, I think, will be fighting for a playoff push next season in League One. But let's see what Jon Russell and Barnsley will do this summer. But as for now, there's no concrete bids for him. There's just rumors and interest in Jonathan Russell. There's no official bid for the player as yet. So let's see what will happen between Conor Horan and Barnsley, and also Jon Russell this summer. But move on, watching the Reggae Girls game and seeing the commentator talking about Steve McCLAREN, yeah, and the man that were sitting the right side of his shoulder, talking about, is it the future for Steve McCLAREN? And he actually said maybe seems like he's the future assistant coach. I work with Steve McCLAREN. So I mean, listen to this audio. I know many of you would have hear it and be wondering like, what is happening? But this is what the commentator said about Steve McCLAREN and that unknown figure, Sean Gutter, that sit right beside him.
And that is Steve McCLAREN, a man who's managed both the men's sides of Jamaica and England. And Sean Gutter next to him, to his right, who is at the moment just observing things, how the setup is with Jamaica, with the suspicion that he might be involved with him in the near future. But he has done a lot of work with Aston Villa women's side. Yeah,
so let me know what you guys have to say in the comment section. Yeah, I will wrap it up from here. Thanks for tuning in. This is Nicardo Media House. See you guys tomorrow again, talking about more on the REGGAEBOYZ players, where they will heading in this summer transfer. Thanks for watching. This is Nicardo Media House. Peace out, people. Out.